Major breaking news coming into CNN right now. There's been a verdict that has been reached in the Bill Cosby trial. Quickly want to go to Athena Jones. She's standing outside the courtroom, outside the courthouse there in Pennsylvania. We see Bill Cosby walking out. Athena, I take it we don't have the verdict yet, but we're about to get it. Is that right?
That's what we understand, Wolf, according to media reports from CNN affiliates and others. This jury of 7 men and 5 women has reached a verdict. We hope to learn what that verdict is in the next few minutes now that they're being called back into the courtroom. This jury has deliberated for 14 hours and 22 minutes after a 17-day trial. And remember, this is the second time Bill Cosby is being tried on these charges. He is charged with aggravated indecent assault for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in 2004. In that first trial last year, the jury wasn't able to reach a unanimous verdict on the 3 counts he's charged with in this case, and so the judge declared a mistrial. Now we have this new case, having been deliberated. And what's interesting about this, Wolf, now is that this is the first major case coming to trial after the Me Too movement, after this huge movement where there's a huge emphasis on sexual assault, sexual harassment in the workplace. It has brought down many stars in the media, in Hollywood, of course, starting with Harvey Weinstein. And so it'll be interesting to see what kind of result the jury comes to in this trial. We do know a few things about the deliberations. We know that the jury asked the judge what it means to consent to a sexual encounter. That was one of the things that the jury asked the judge. The judge told them that he can't tell them what consent means. It is going to be up to the jury to determine that. Just quickly on the specific counts Cosby is charged with. He's charged with penetrating the genitals of a complainant with part of his body without the complainant's consent. He's charged with doing the same while the complainant was unconscious. This complainant, of course, being Andrea Constand. And the third count says he penetrated the genitals of the complainant when she was unable to consent because he administered drugs, intoxicant, or other means for the purpose of preventing resistance. One thing that's important in this case, of course, this second trial, Wolf, is that in this trial, 5 other women, separate from Constand, testified that Cosby drugged and assaulted them in previous instance. And the prosecutors say this establishes a pattern of behavior by Bill Cosby. So that is information that was part of this trial. And one thing I should note is that Cosby's attorneys are saying, look, yes, Cosby did have a sexual encounter with Andrea Constand, but it was consensual. They say that Bill Cosby says when Constand told him to stop, he stopped. His attorneys say this is a witch hunt, a phrase we've heard a lot lately. He also says lynchings and
Athena, we're just being told that he has been convicted on all 3 counts. So all 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault, punishable by up to 10 years in prison. Each count, Laura Coates is with us, our legal analyst as well. That would be 30 years if you add them up, but he could serve potentially all of those convictions concurrently.
Yes, in Pennsylvania, for cases like that, you can actually serve. If you have 10, 10, 10, concurrently means it's all going to be at once. I have to say, many people are shocked hearing the verdict in this case because this case was so drastically different than the first one. You had the ability to have the civil settlement that was put in place, the $3.2 million before the jury this time around. You also had the idea that you had a witness on behalf of the defense team that said that they previously believed and heard Andrea Constand make a statement that she was simply trying to frame a high-profile person at one point or another. And so this is very shocking. It's not shocking given the volume, however, of the number of people who came forward in the past. And I think it's absolutely right. In this trial, unlike the first one, you were able to hear testimony from 5 other women, in addition to Andrea Constand, who were saying, listen, this happened to me too. Me too has been the phrase that has been used consistently about this case. It happened to them too. And in front of those jurors, they were able to actually hear the words of people who not only espoused the sentiment of Me Too, but actually could say this exact thing happened to them as well. In this case, he was likely to serve the terms concurrently if he is to serve all of the jail time, but sentencing is still out there. Also, we'll want to note that unlike the first trial, where they were trying to paint this as a romantic endeavor, perhaps, and one that was consensual. This time, the defense decided to say this was essentially the equivalent of a gold digger based on the civil settlement that obviously did not speak well to the jurors in this case. They did not buy into the notion that it was somebody who was motivated by a financial settlement or otherwise. And now you have this very unique position. The very first time that you have a celebrity, high-profile Me Too case, and really not even half the time of the initial deliberations. This was only a day and a half in, realistically, and you had this drawn. And of course, everyone thought, well,